It is Tuesday, November the 11th.
This is The Warning.
It is Veterans Day in the United States and Remembrance Day for our allies around the world. It is a day when the terrible and awful cost of defending freedom is remembered. That cost, apparently, in America at least, has been forgotten. It has been forgotten because the evidence is clear. The Secretary of War is a buffoon, a drunk, a clown, a predator, and he was confirmed by a co-equal branch of government. All of the graves in the American cemetery in France face west, across the ocean. The shore of America that they left is what this silent army at rest faces, looking back at us from a position of permanent, silent repose. The grave sites of American soldiers are spread around the world, but we have forgotten that. The evidence for that is the rise of Nick Fuentes and Nazis, who are now plainly, openly, and importantly, members of the MAGA coalition in good standing. The mask has dropped, and our country cannot reasonably be described as a free one, not with these obscenities taking place, not with the abuse of children by masked federal thugs, not with the sale of human flesh to a dictator in El Salvador, not with the rise of Greg Bovino and Stephen Miller. Our economy is collapsing. Amazon is celebrating the fact that soon 600,000 people will be replaced by robots. Elon Musk has signed a pay package worth $1 trillion. This number is incomprehensible. If I say I'll meet you in 1,000,000 seconds, that means in 12 days. 1 billion? Well, that's 33 years from now. 1 trillion seconds is 33,000 years from now. That's what 1 trillion is. This isn't capitalism. This isn't the free market. This is feudalism. A twisted form of capitalism, gangster capitalism, and apparently Amazon is to be the new East India Company. And all of this, every degradation, every assault against our liberty, against our freedom, deserves full, fierce, absolute, unyielding, peaceful opposition. The abuses of power are unprecedented and they are historic. And abuses of power must be met by the full use of political power. Herein lies the great crisis. The American people are being held hostage by a corrupt, cynical, and appeasing democratic leadership that refuses to fight for things that are worth fighting for and have always been understood to be worth the fight. Look at the decrepit independent senator from the state of Maine. Listen to this man.
Well, Joe, you have to go back to what the strategy was at the beginning of the shutdown. There were two goals, both of which I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue. The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was there was zero likelihood that it was going to. In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power, Exhibit A being what he's done with SNAP and SNAP benefits across the country. Oh, by the way, Joe, you're going to love this. Guess who's getting paid during the shutdown? Not the park rangers or air traffic controllers, the ICE agents. Under special law, under that big, awful bill that they passed last summer, the ICE agents are being paid. Nobody else is. So standing up to Donald Trump didn't work. It actually gave him more power.
We are his hostages. He has no spine. He has no principles. He has no judgment. Let's listen to Jeanne Shaheen.
What we've heard from many of our Republican colleagues in the Senate is that they're willing to work on health care. Now we can hold them accountable. We're going to have a vote. We're going to see if they're really willing to work on it. And if they're not, the people of America can hold them accountable.
She, and I mean this, is a fool. Mark Kelly, a legitimate American hero, someone that millions of Americans admire because they look at the guy and they see someone they can trust with integrity, with candor, who stood up for his country, a Navy fighter pilot, a NASA astronaut, a man tested by great personal crisis. Look what politics and being proximate to the corruption of the Senate Democratic leadership has done to the ability of a bona fide American hero to speak straight. It's gibberish. And it's the cost of Chuck Schumer, an appeaser. Donald Trump would have blinked. But instead, because of the surrender, Donald Trump has instead been taught. He's been taught that if he squeezes and he causes pain, he will be appeased. And what that means is Chuck Schumer, this guy, the We Will Win guy, has written a check for more pain for more people than anyone can conceivably imagine. Because, again, for the second time in a calendar year, after being a party to the seating of Trump's radical cabinet, Chuck Schumer has given away every ounce, every bit of leverage to make Trump stop doing anything. It is appalling, it is obscene, and his leadership is an abomination. And the fact that 45 Democratic senators sit in a room and tolerate it is an offense against every American who voted in this off-year election, who marched in a protest, who has ever given a dime to the Democratic National Committee. How did the party of John Kennedy and Franklin Roosevelt wind up so decrepit, so broken, and so badly led that it could lose an election to Donald Trump? And they did. And at a moment when Trump was in real trouble, Chuck Schumer resuscitated him as surely as did Kevin McCarthy after the coup. If the Democratic senators tolerate it, if the Democratic governors who know how pathetic and wrong this is abide it, we will lose our country. And we will lose it like the English almost lost theirs because of the appeasement and the weakness of a philosophy that says, I'll feed the crocodile first, so he may eat me last. And that is the genius that leads the Democratic Party today. What an awful moment for America. This is The Warning. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.